Hello, thanks so much for stopping by my channel and checking out week 2's course updates video all about me trying to figure out and define my niche, or as some people call it, my niche. I think I like niche better though. Hi! Got a lot of wildlife here with us today, a lot of birds, which is lovely. Okay, so with my courses this week, I've actually been going through quite an emotional roller coaster journey, something that I really wasn't expecting. I knew there'd be some ups and downs and lots of ideas being tossed around and having to really work through those to get to an end point. I wasn't expecting the amount of emotion that was going to come with it. There's been a lot of excitement in something and then second guessing myself and then trying to come up with other ideas and flipping back and forth between ideas, getting a bit frustrated because I didn't really feel like I was getting towards an end goal. Just a little bit overwhelmed. This is quite a process to undertake, probably why I've spent the first 2 years on YouTube seeing if I could just get away with not having a niche. But I am determined to find a great niche. I think I'm on a really good path now and I'm excited to share with you what that is. But in order for you to really understand what it's like to get to the end point, I want to walk you through what my week's been like and a bit of the process that I've been on, so that you can both just see what's been going on behind the scenes here with Backpack on Fire. And if you too are also looking to create a niche and figure out what your niche is, hopefully seeing the process I'm going through will help you out as well. So here's how the week went. The first place I started, and I was really lucky because I've been on YouTube for 2 years, and the benefit of that is I'm able to now go back and look at 2 years worth of videos that I created to see what's sort of my natural style, and then to also see what of that resonated with people and what videos did really well. And so I wanted to really analyze what I already had and try to see if there was a bit of a theme that could come out of that to help me define a niche and to understand what it is that people like about coming across Backpack on Fire. So step number 1 for me was taking a look at all my videos and trying to put them into groupings to sort of see what was my natural style, what did I like to film, and how did I categorize those. Okay, the next step was I went ahead and took a look at my best performing videos on YouTube. I wanted to see if there's some sort of connection across them all that would explain why they did better than others. That would hopefully help me define a bit about what is unique about my style that came out in those videos that made people want to watch them. What I got out of it was, okay, a big part of it is my curiosity and the unique adventures I go on. Those seem to resonate with people, but is that really niche enough? So that's when I knew I had to definitely turn to the courses that I have and now see what do they do to help walk people through figuring out their niche. And I went across all the different courses to see their different styles of doing this in hopes that I could, one way or the other, figure out a niche. So without taking a long time to walk you through each and every step, because I mean, these courses are long and that would take forever, I've kind of summed up what I've learned across them all. And some of the ways that they walk people through figuring out a niche are. One of the ways is to take 2 passions that you have and cross them in hopes of finding a niche there. So we've already got travel. And then the other one I was thinking of, one big thing I am passionate about is natural health and wellness. And so I was struggling there, okay, how could those maybe cross? Okay, so another way to try and find your niche is to take your passion and an aspect of your personality that makes you unique and to cross those. So we've got the travel, and I was looking at, well, I'm very thrifty and resourceful, but I feel like that one might be a little bit overdone and oversaturated in the market. Then we've got travel and just being super curious and always looking for new adventures. Again, I'm not really sure if that's niche enough. And then I thought, okay, what else is there about me? I mean, I'm a shy extrovert, and you don't really hear those 2 words going together that often, but I don't know if there's enough content there, enough to talk about, or enough interest out there. Are there a lot of other shy extroverts? Are you out there? Do you exist? If you do, let me know. Do you travel? Is there a market for that? So I was sort of left struggling with that one. Next was your passion and a very specific location. So with travel, that would look at, okay, one country that you're specifically focusing on and diving deep into that and sort of being seen as the expert for that location. But if you know me, you know I travel all over. Look at what you've seen so far. We've got India and Singapore and Dubai and the UK and soon to be New Zealand. We had a bit of Australia. So for me to pick one location, I could do that for a while, but I wouldn't be able to stick with it forever. I'm just too, again, curious and interested in seeing different places. So next was looking at your passion and crossing it with a style. And there's the ones that we see a lot of now, which is the van life, which actually, after having now done it, is pretty addicting, and I could see myself doing it more, but that was in New Zealand. I don't have a van here. I can't continue with that theme. And then another way that I was shown in my courses was to try and cross my passion with maybe some of my previous careers. There is some possibility there, but it wasn't something that was sitting with me or nothing that I just clung to and jumped to and was like, aha, this is it. So out of all those different ways of trying to find a niche, the ones that were sort of bouncing back and forth for me was either the doing two passions being crossed or passion and personality. And to be honest, all week I've gone back and forth on these. I've actually been going back and forth on some of these ideas for even longer than this past week, but this week I've really been struggling. You know, I'll get really excited about going in one direction and then I'll think, oh, it just doesn't sit right. I think something's missing. I'm not really sure. And then I'll flip on over to the other side and then I'll hum and haw about something there, and I haven't been able to really decide. So one of the other activities I was walked through was trying to define my personal values and see which ones of those would connect with the brand, as well as trying to figure out what's my message that I want to get out to the world. And I actually really loved this one the most. This one I had sort of the most fun with, to really define, yeah, what am I trying to say? If you're here still listening, what do you want to hear and what am I trying to tell you? And why you would come and hear that message from me when you could probably hear it from somebody else. So again, I love whiteboards. I started putting all this stuff up on my whiteboard as I was going, both how I was analyzing my channel and looking back at it, as well as everything I was walking through with the courses. And now the biggest step was to actually step back, look at both, and try to bring them together and figure out where I was going. So when I'm looking at the wellness side and trying to bring that into travel, obviously that includes the outdoor activities I like to do that keep me healthy and moving while I'm traveling around. But wellness for me also includes, you know, what I'm eating, what products I'm taking, what I'm doing to stay healthy on the road. But it isn't just about that sort of health and fitness side of things. It's also about, for me, travel and how it betters me, how I learn more about the world, how I use it to sort of break out of my shell and sort of become a better version of myself. So it's whole body wellness in that sense, which has a place in my niche, but it isn't your typical wellness travel crossover. And the other thing that was really standing out and sticking with me was those personality pieces. The pieces of my personality that are me through and through, that will show up in every video naturally because it's just who I am. And it's that curiosity, that desire to see something new, try something new, learn something new, go somewhere new, and that thriftiness, which won't necessarily be, I think, a main focus, but it's always going to be there. Everything I do, I naturally try to find a great deal, make sure I'm not being wasteful. And then the other one that's sort of really connecting with me right now is this concept of a shy extrovert. Okay, now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Shauna, you can't be shy. You're on YouTube talking to people. If you've met me in person, you probably think I'm not shy, but likely that's because you've known me for such a long time. You don't remember what I was like when we met, or you met me when I was around people I was really comfortable with, and so I didn't come across as being shy. But honestly, inside, I am naturally shy. I'm constantly pushing and struggling through that, but because I'm an extrovert and I love being around people, I get refueled by the energy I get off of other people, I have to push through that shyness. And as well, I have this inextinguishable wanderlust to travel, and when I travel, I can't always travel with friends, or I'm not always visiting friends. Again, I have to push through to make those connections while I'm abroad, and that's worked really well, and it's helped me develop and become a better version of myself. So when I start to put all of this together, I start to see Backpack on Fire as being all about the curious adventures of a shy extrovert on a journey to becoming her best self, fueled by an inextinguishable wanderlust. So I'm not really sure yet if that counts as a niche. I think I'm gonna have to play around with it a bit, but it definitely feels like a great identity for my brand of style of travel. I connect with it really well. It really is who I am and what style of traveler I am and why I travel. And so I think I'm in a really good place with this. I'm gonna let it sit with me. I'm gonna work on it over the next week or so and really start to define, okay, if this is the direction I'm going, What does that look like? How does it come out in my YouTube videos, on my social media? And so you'll probably start to see me testing a few things to really define this brand image. But I would love to know what you think about this. Do you think there's enough of a market? Are there shy extroverts out there? If you exist and you travel and you resonate with me, let me know. I'd love to know who you are, that you're out there, and that this might be something that you would find interesting. Those of you that are curious, those of you that also have this inextinguishable wanderlust and see travel as a way to better yourself, I want my channel to bring all of that together. So I hope you like that direction. Again, I'm only on week 2 of going through these courses, so this is where I'm at right now. Who knows where I'll be at next week. But thank you for watching this. Thank you for supporting me along this journey, and we will see you next week to find out what else I've been learning. Bye.